Alright guys, so this is the mise en place for the single order of jambalaya. So what I'm going to give you when you come down to school, you're going to have a quarter or about a sixth of an onion, green onions, green peppers. This is 6 ounces of diced tomatoes in juice, a quarter cup of rice, about 4 ounces of andouille sausage. That is about 3 tablespoons of butter. Crab base, which you don't have to have. Sometimes I have these at the store. You can use chicken base, or you can just buy some chicken stock. Shrimp, shell on. We're going to peel and devein these. And then this is a pint of water. So this is 16 ounces of water. So let me get this set up. So what we're going to do is cut up, peel and devein the shrimp, and we're going to make a shrimp stock with that. So basically what you want to do, move the sausage over. You want to take your shrimp, I grab them by the sides, like this, pull them over, okay, take that shell off, pull the tail out, then to devein, that's peel, there's your shrimp shell, that's where you're going to get a lot of your flavor. To devein, you're going to go down the back of this shrimp, just like this with your knife, okay, this one is not that funky. A lot of times we'll have this big mud vein going through them, and you want to make sure you clean that out. So I'm going to put this in a separate container, because we're not going to cook these until tomorrow. Well, until the cooking demo lab. So do all 3. I gave you 3 pretty large shrimp. These are 16/20s. The way they measure the size of these is they count how many fit per pound. So this is 16 to 20 of these per pound. So this one, also clean. We're going to rinse these with water too. When I give these to you guys, they're going to be frozen. So what I want you to do is put the whole cup, take the whole cup they come in, put it in the sink, and run cold water on it. Cold, not hot. So peel this one. Okay. Let's go down the back. This one's actually clean too. So put those aside. Those are going to be used later. Alright, so I'm going to take my gloves off, this glove off. And I already cleaned and sanitized my board. So, over here, what I want you to do is get your saucepan, get that on about low heat. Okay, I'm going to set this down. There we go. All right, in your saucepan, if I didn't give you any of this, but put a little bit of oil. While that's heating up, I'm gonna go put my shrimp back in the fridge so they stay cool. All right. So what you have going on here is you're going to get this pan medium-high heat. You don't want this super hot. Then you're going to take your shrimp shells and start to cook these, okay? The reason I'm doing this is because it's just like the soup stocks and sauces we talked about. You want to take your bones, which would be the shrimp shells, and cook these until they turn pink. And what that's going to do is bring out the natural flavors of them, natural oils. See here I'm cooking in there? That's what we got going. So this is part of your mise en place because you're making a stock for tomorrow's, or for the next day, okay? It's gonna have some aromatic smells coming out of there, let me tell you. And at this point, you can put whatever you want. If you want to season this a little bit, put some cayenne in here, whatever, to spice it up a little bit. But see how it's getting that nice color to it? And it's gonna have a strong shrimp smell to it because the shells have the most flavor. So keep those going. So this is what you're cooking. All right. If you want to add garlic to this, you can add garlic too. Okay, the next part of this is your base. So this is crab base. Some of you that came real early, you got chicken base because I didn't have the crab base yet. So we're going to kind of stir that in. Okay. Take your pint of water, go and add that. And then go ahead and add the tomatoes as well. Okay. So what you have in here so far is your sauteed shrimp shells, your base, your water, and those tomatoes. So I want you to turn this down. This is on high right now. I'm going to turn this down low, about medium low, because I want this to simmer while we're cutting up. So your prep, what you have to do today for your mise en place, let me make sure I'm on the right spot. Okay. You have your onion. I gave you a quarter onion. I want you to cut it like we learned. You're going to cut this. Okay, go slow. Don't cut your fingers. Turn it the other way. See how that's all separated? Go back, cut. Okay. Nice. And then this little end piece, you know, just put it in your stock because you're going to strain that stock. Okay, next, you have your piece of pepper I gave you. Just lay it down. Cut, cut, cut. Turn. Cut, cut, cut. Go back, cut this up. Okay. The last part is your green onions. This, I'm going to cut small, and this is I'm going to show you in the video. You can either add this at the end as a garnish, or you could cook it with it. So you want to cut these just to small pieces. Alright, move that out. Put your little inlets. Okay. Once again, people who came real early, apologize. I didn't have the green onions for you guys quite yet. So, we're going to move this. This is going to go on our mise en place tray for tomorrow. Okay? So, you'll see. That's going on our tray. Next part, we'll put our rice on there because that's not needed today. We're going to put our butter on there because we don't need that yet either. These little green onions, we'll go ahead and put in a separate container. Then the last thing is your sausage. So I gave you guys a piece of sausage like this. If you want to cut it just into rings, you can. But since you're making a soup, what I suggest is you cut it so it's spoon size. So cut it lengthwise into these planks, just like we do with, you know, most of our vegetables. Cut that, lay it out, cut this into squares. So you can saute this tomorrow and it'll be ready to roll. It'll be nice bite-sized pieces. Actually, spoon size, that's what you want. When you're making soup, everything needs to fit on a spoon. I never understood chicken noodle soup in a can where the noodles are 5 inches long. Okay, so you got this diced up. Put this in another cup. Clean off your board. And then, once again, you know, I did clean and sanitize my area before, so make sure you guys work clean. Here's your diced andouille. Okay, so we're gonna come back over. This is slowly coming up to a boil, and you'll be able to smell it. So things you could add to this. So I have them over here. You could add Cajun seasoning to it if you want. You could add hot sauce to this if you want. One of the big ones that people would put in is Worcestershire sauce, which I'm gonna add like a little bit. I didn't have enough to give everybody a bottle of this, but you'll be fine. All right, so when you're adding Worcestershire sauce, it's very strong. So you just need about 2 or 3 drops, and then you can adjust the seasoning later. Okay, so we'll be back in a couple minutes and I'll show you the finished stock.